Not the best transition in the world. It's the Sunday winter solstice YadaCoin show. Hold on. There we go. All right, everybody. I don't know if these titles, well, those titles are good. I don't even know if we're streaming on X. It looks like we're not. An error occurred on X. How are you guys doing today? How's your Sunday? We're getting a little early start today. Maybe I can get this working. Do this. I want X to be on. So, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about the things that matter to you most. Because we know you have a lot of digital assets. We know you're a high net worth individual. And we know that you want to protect all of that. And we're here for you. Shit offline. Man, these streaming applications are really struggling today. Live on X. Anyway. All right. Hello, Cyberhouse Lord. How you doing? I'm trying to make these things work on X. Not. Maybe I need to reconnect. One sec. Maybe X is like disconnected or something. No? Alright, anyway, we're just gonna move on. Looks like X is tripping, I don't know why, but anyway, not our fault. We're not gonna keep all of our faithful viewers watching and waiting. Alright. Alright, let's jump in. This rat's nest I got going on back here. Alright, here we go. Crypto news for today. Actually, let's dive into the market first. Let's look at how we're doing. Oh, they're not alphabetical. Okay. They must be doing it by rank. Like, they must be doing it by how cool the project is. Let me transition here. Oh, let's restream chat. Screen capture. Bang. Bang. Alright, here we go. So, YadaCoin looking good at a strong 500,000 hashes a second. All the pools are synced and pumping along. YadaCoin still holding strong at the #1 pool spot, even though our fee is the highest. We have miners, Yada Miners PL in second place. Their solo rate is 1%, but their PPLNS is 3/4%. And then followed by that, Hash Yada at 0.2, YadaMiners.com 0.1, and YadaPool.org at 0.3. So, looking pretty good. We've had some good spikes of 1 mega hash here and there, 1.5 mega hash. Centralization could be better, but you know, being that it's my pool and I have the most incentive to make this project or not sabotage this project, then that's probably a centralization that maybe we can tolerate for now. Okay. Non-KYC, how do we look on this market? Well, pretty sideways for the most part. We had some sells along the way, but pretty much sideways for the most part. There's some slight price difference here. Maybe some ARB opportunity. Hardly though. Let's look at PancakeSwap.finance. And we'll look at our market on the DEX. Some pretty big sells there. But yeah, again, no big deal. Anyway, yeah, so not too much happening there. We're still sitting at a criminally low price at about 1 cent on average, which is really the opportunity of a lifetime here as we really get things rolling. We're at a market cap of under $200,000 when we have easily 100 million market cap potential. So just keep that in mind. And once these buybacks start rolling in, this 1 cent price is going to vanish and it will not come back. So keep that in mind. That is a threat. You'll see. You will see. This will be a business. This isn't, oh, can I get people to just keep speculating forever so that that price maintains itself? No. No, this is going to be a business. People are going to depend on this. And that's why the price is going to remain high. We're going to continue to have folks wrapping high amounts of digital assets, and then we will use those fees to buy back YadaCoin, and that's why the price will stay high, because it'll continue to have buying pressure. Understand? Hell, even $200 a day would be enough buying pressure to get us a lot of attention, and that's nothing. So, and we're talking like $200 a day of market purchase, buying whatever's there already. I feel like even some of the biggest projects out there that have like a $200 million market cap or more don't actually even make, I'll be generous and say they don't even make $1,000 a day, like as a business. They might have speculation, but they're not, their product, their blockchain product is not actually even making money. It's like a startup that just has investment from a ton of VCs, but doesn't actually have any business. They're still pre-revenue. That's essentially what 99.99999% of blockchain projects are. They're all pre-revenue startups. You really have to compare it that way. They don't have revenue. None of them are being used for that. Like Bitcoin is actually being used. People are paying fees. People are converting US dollars into Bitcoin to pay Bitcoin fees. Right? So that's what's happening. They're taking gains from other currencies and buying Bitcoin. And that's what will happen in YadaCoin's case, because our project and our service is necessary, because there's too many hacks going on. All right. So that's kind of what the market is doing right now. So let's look at some crypto news. So to lower crypto investment risk, the market is starting to diversify its global asset bets. So is that like a thinly veiled way of saying altcoin season is coming? Volatility will remain a feature of the cryptocurrency market, making appropriate portfolio allocation sizing a key decision for investors. The introduction of many ETF covering leading cryptos like Bitcoin and Ether, as well as emerging digital currencies and linked platforms. I can't wait to hear what other ones they throw into the list, such as Solana, offers new ways to diversify exposure. I thought they were gonna like bring in some no-name one that they're trying to pump. They always do that. They're like, well, if you want to diversify, you really should be doing the obvious ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Trex. It's like, Trex? What the fuck are you talking about? No one's even heard of that. They think they're so fucking slick. Anyway. That's when you ban them for just being an obvious shill. The obvious shill is obvious. Alright, San Francisco blackout reveals crypto's dependence on power infrastructure. There's no such thing as Trex. I just made it up. Tricks, yeah. Tricks are for kids. Trex are for kids. A massive power outage hit San Francisco on Saturday afternoon, leaving 130,000 homes and businesses without electricity. The incident forced residents to face technology's fundamental vulnerabilities. Caused by a fire at a PG&E substation, the blackout cut off access to digital wallets and cryptocurrency exchanges for thousands of users. How do they make this about crypto, is what I want to know. If anything, it exposes how awesome crypto is because it shows how geographically redundant crypto is. San Francisco's outage didn't mean shit to crypto. It meant nothing. Crypto was just fine without San Francisco. We did just fine. I mean, we want San Francisco to be having power, don't get me wrong, but crypto did not incur any outages because of San Francisco's outage. Just a few miners probably went offline. And that's okay. We will live. Okay. Nice. Fake Coinbase staffers stole 16 million in crypto and blew loot in online casinos. What's up, Chemical Soldier? Have a good steam. Maybe we will do a good steam. Maybe I'll go to a spa later and have a good steam. Sounds like a good idea to me. I think we could all use a spa. Type in the chat spa if you could use a spa. If you could use a good hot soak. Give the dogs a break for a second. Paradise Soul, the small Caribbean island courting crypto billions. Okay. There's a little Paradise Island. A Belgian billionaire has a quiet, ambitious plan to create the Dubai of the Caribbean. On the island of Nevis, said the Brussels Times. Well, that's cool. That should cause a lot of speculation. Crypto's UX crisis. Billions of people still aren't on board. Yeah, that's true. Crypto is losing the battle for the ever-elusive mass adoption. Not because it lacks innovation, but because it refuses to design for Let's see what project this is promoting. Crypto has become a mirror endlessly reflecting its own obsessions. Layer 2s multiply, chains fork, and tokenomics evolve, but still the average person finds crypto terrifying, obscure, just plain unusable, while the world is starving for better financial tools, faster remittances, stable savings, cross-border payments. We're building puzzles for ourselves. If we don't wake up and build for humans, not just for tech engineers, hackers, and developers, we risk becoming the QWERTY BlackBerry of finance. Brilliant, principled, and utterly irrelevant. Crypto might very well repeat QWERTY smartphone's fate of obscurity if we don't adapt to simplified UX. That's true. That is so true. Complexity as a barrier. We live in... Well, look. That's why you can't introduce people to crypto as introducing them to crypto. They have to learn at their own pace. And they have to pick up one specific project, because like even picking up Bitcoin is almost impossible for the average person, because there's 1,000 options for wallets, first of all, because you have to get a wallet. So right there, they're going to be turned off. So you say, oh, just get a wallet and I'll send you some Bitcoin. Even if you said that and they went to go get a wallet, they would go to the App Store, they go to the Google Play Store, and then they would try to download a wallet, and there'd be like 50 different options. And like some percentage of those are just flat out scams or hacked or whatever, right? So it's like, that's the deal breaker right there. Try to onboard anybody and you'll see that. That's why YadaCoin is great, because there's only like one wallet. We made it ourselves, and yeah, you're like in our ecosystem and all of our stuff works. So there's not like a ton of options to get screwed up on using. It's not confusing. You just go to one place. So, you know, this story is more geared towards the big projects. But we are for folks who want to keep their money secure. We are for folks who are serious about crypto, who are serious about their digital assets. People who have serious holdings. You know, all of the wallet options that are for Bitcoin right now, there's a ton of them, and all of them have vulnerabilities that are pretty much unacceptable. So for our wallet, you just wrap your Bitcoin into a different form and it's protected beyond belief. Unprecedented levels of protection. Alright, so that's some market news. I don't see any new hacks. Let me look at crypto hacks. Crypto theft, that was 3 days ago. Yeah, not much gonna happen maybe over the weekend. Fake Coinbase staffer, yeah. Blue Loot and Casino. Alright, I guess we could see how he actually went about doing that. Whatever. A New York man posed as a Coinbase employee to steal about 16 million in crypto from some 100 traders before proceeding to lose millions of dollars worth of coins in online casinos. That's according to the Office of the Brooklyn District Attorney, which said it has charged the 23-year-old New York resident Ronald Spector with 31 offenses, including first-degree grand larceny, first-degree money laundering, and scheme to defraud. That's cool. They found him. He allegedly tricked many unsuspecting people to transfer their life savings to wallets he controlled, blew their hard-earned money gambling online, and then bragged about his successful thefts. Alright, so how did he actually get them to do that? Yeah, that's an actual degenerate right there. That's not a degen, that's just a degenerate. The district attorney said the virtual currency unit had been investigating the case for around a year. The unit said all of the affected users are US based and said that he had spoken to over 70 alleged victims. The New York Post reported that at a hearing on Friday, prosecutors told the court that Spector had been trying to evade arrest by crisscrossing the U.S. in Greyhound buses while he plotted an escape to Georgia. A prosecution official told the court Spectre took concrete steps to execute his flight by sending 600,000 of crypto to an individual in Georgia. The court is set to reconvene on January 6th, where it will hear evidence that Spectre posed as a Coinbase representative who told crypto traders a hack had accessed their accounts. Okay, so this was a phishing attack. Got it. Prosecutor said Spectre told so they should move their coins to a new wallet to safeguard their funds. Users believe they were communicating with the real Coinbase representative. The district attorney office said they unwittingly moved their crypto assets to a wallet that they were led to believe was still under their control, but was actually accessible by the defendant. Okay, so maybe a supply chain attack. So he gave him a different wallet to use that was probably compromised. This is why interface verification will be important, because this wouldn't have happened when our wallet is able to do interface verification. It actually won't even let you access your keys. So it's the ultimate protection. Anyway, well, that's sad. Well, that's very sad. And I think that institutions' reluctance to hold digital assets is hurting these kinds of people. You know what I mean? Because maybe some people shouldn't be their own banks. You know what I mean? At some point, if you're just so gullible, maybe you just shouldn't be your own bank. But you do need some type of like independence, right? But you do also need somebody to hold your hand. And that's fine. You know, we just need to give these banks the tools they need to help their customers with their digital assets. There's no question that digital assets outperform some traditional finance tools. So it's just a matter of how do we allow these traditional institutions to give their customers a way to take advantage of these decentralized digital assets. You know, making it so that their customers don't have to go out and do it on their own and do it in a way that's unsafe. And I do think that YadaCoin and our wallet, our whale wallet, can make a huge difference there. Yeah, we read this story a couple days ago. North Korea. So most of these are just like phishing attacks, side chain attacks, or I guess they call them not logistical attacks, but supply chain attacks. And then there's obviously like malware installs, and then there's address poisoning, things like that. And we are educating everybody about these. But also, we are developing a product, and we also have a product available that solves a number of these problems already, and we're still developing even further innovations that will hopefully take care of all of them. But we already have a huge advantage with some of the ones that we prevent already, because the other wallets prevent none of them. So maybe folks should be taking a harder look at their security. Check yourself before you wreck yourself is the slogan. finally. Looks like X is finally gonna cooperate. There we go. All right. So we covered the market. We covered some hacks. Yada's native asset. Oh yeah, we already did that. But this is just on CoinGecko. Yeah, again, Yada still criminally low. Still a low price. But this will change. Folks are going to see our value and they're going to start wrapping coins and we'll start getting fees. All right. What am I looking at here? Let's get some airdrop addresses. Maybe it should just be a quick Sunday show. We've been at it for about 33 minutes today. Maybe it should just be a quick little update. Then everybody can get back to their Sunday. We don't have to have a big long show. But yeah, we've been having a little bit of issue with the titles. QSS. I have to look at what that is. Quarterly services survey. Quick Sunday show. Yes. It is a quick Sunday show indeed. This fucker. Anywho, well, guys, I think we're gonna call it today. I think we need to get more. Well, okay, so a lot of our airdrop stuff comes from X, but we just started X like a minute ago. So that wasn't working until now. But the titles are now working. You can't update the titles once you go live. So that's like one thing that we fixed during this show. So now everything's kind of pumping along. So I feel like we get one more thing fixed every single time we come on here and do this. But yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think we're gonna start doing like meetups of folks who have high net worth who are looking to protect digital assets. Like they want to get into crypto, they're interested, but they're terrified of becoming one of these stories that we talk about. And that's what I think we need to do a meetup about. I think that, you know, people need to get a chance to get to know me, and I can just talk to them one-on-one about their options for whatever it is that they're trying to do for digital currency. So if you know somebody that's a high net worth individual, if you are a high net worth individual yourself, then this would be a good opportunity for you to learn from somebody that you can trust. And, you know, we can give you some good options about, you know, how to safely hold digital assets in a decentralized world. You know, you can make the gains that everybody, you know, is already making, I'll bet at a smaller scale than yourself. So, you know, you're thinking, well, I have more money, so I want to make bigger gains, you know, but I also don't want to lose my money. And yeah, that's where, you know, proper education and the right tools will be your biggest asset. All right, everybody, let's wrap it up for today. But yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and join our Discord or hit me up at info@YadaCoin.io or on X, Yada Blockchain on there, or Twitch, YadaCoin, or on YouTube, Yada Blockchain. Just drop a comment or anything like that anywhere. Or like I said, hit me up in the DMs, or you can get on Telegram and shoot me a message on there, and that's just YadaCoin as well. So, thank you for joining the stream today, and I hope you found it informative and valuable.